Heavy fighting continues in multiple regions throughout the front line. The main tactical disadvantages of the Russian forces are their poor logistics due to a lack of proper infrastructure to deploy a meaningful number of infantrymen, let alone mechanized units. Russian forces launched one of their attacks. What followed was a brutal engagement that turned their ambitious assault into a devastating spectacle of failure. In dramatic footage, FPV drones forced the Russian troops to jump out of their vehicle before crashing it. Shows a group of Russian troops who are driving a small SUV at high speed and trying to advance on the front line. Then, Ukrainian operators sent an FPV drone to fly in the direction of the Russian vehicle. And as the Ukrainian drone comes closer, a Russian soldier tries to shoot down the drone, but it doesn't work. After the impact, Russian troops jumped down one by one from the vehicle. The Russian vehicle continues to move forward. The driver was forced to make a hard turn and crash the SUV. But a large explosion occurred, causing flying debris that destroyed Russian troops near the vehicle. In drone footage, the previously shared online from a Ukrainian unit captures a chilling moment on the battlefield. A Russian tank, outfitted with improvised turtle armor, and a mine-clearing plow mounted on the front. Moving closer to the anti-tank mine, when stepping on the mine caused several very powerful explosions. A blast erupts beneath it, then another, and another, ripping through the undercarriage. Flames roar skyward, and a shock wave of fire and shrapnel engulfs the steel monster. The blast leaves it mangled and smoldering, armor peeled back like paper, systems gutted by the fury of the explosions. Moments later, as the smoke thins, one crew member stumbles from the wreckage, desperate to escape the hell they've driven into. And when the smoke cleared, it was seen that one of the crew members got out of the tank to save his life. Then, the Ukrainian operator flew the FPV drone and hit the tank on the side. And once again, the explosion burned the tank. Fire pours from the wreck, and what remains of the tank is swallowed in flames once more. This time, the final act. As reported by Reuters, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday he would attend talks with Russia on the war in Ukraine this week only if Vladimir Putin is also there, and goaded him by saying the Russian leader was scared to meet him face to face. The Kremlin has yet to say whether Putin will take part in the talks scheduled to be held in Istanbul. The planned talks have become the main focus of peace efforts led by U.S. President Donald Trump, who is sending senior envoys Steve Witkoff and Keith Kellogg. Three sources familiar with the plans said. Trump has also offered to attend. Zelensky said he wanted to negotiate an unconditional 30-day ceasefire as the first step towards ending the war, and that Putin must take part in talks because absolutely everything in Russia depends on him. If he takes the step to say he is ready for a ceasefire, then it opens the way to discussing all the elements to end the war, he said. He is scared of direct talks with me. Both Moscow and Kiev have sought to show they are working towards peace after Trump prioritized ending the war. which has raged since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, but have yet to agree any clear path. Putin on Sunday proposed direct talks with Ukraine after ignoring a Ukrainian proposal for an unconditional 30-day ceasefire. Trump publicly told Zelensky to accept the proposal. Reuters reported last year that Putin was open to discussing a ceasefire with Trump, but that Moscow ruled out making any major territorial concessions and demanded that Kyiv abandon ambitions to join NATO. Ukraine has said it is ready for talks, but a ceasefire is needed first, a position supported by its European allies. Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, on Tuesday reiterated Ukraine's stance that any negotiations must come after a ceasefire. A senior Russian official, Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov, was quoted by Russian news agencies as saying Moscow was ready for serious talks on Ukraine, but doubted Kyiv's capacity for negotiations. The agencies quoted him as saying realities on the ground should be recognized, including the incorporation of what Moscow calls new territories into Russia, a reference to territory in Ukraine that is occupied by Russian forces. Besides, President Volodymyr Zelensky will only attend the talks this week if Russia's Vladimir Putin is also there. An aide to the Ukrainian leader said on Tuesday, challenging the Kremlin to show it is genuine about seeking peace.